Dell Technologies Forum.
Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here at Dell Technologies Forum 2025 at the Mumbai chapter. Now, let's begin by setting the context a little bit and learning what each of your respective organizations are up to as far as AI harnessing is concerned. Abhishek, if I may start with you now, of course, the Mahindra Group is a diversified conglomerate. You are into everything from automobiles to finance to hospitality. Give us a sense of how you are leveraging AI to really transform operations across such diverse sectors, and what role does your underlying infrastructure play in scaling each of these initiatives that you've started?
So in Mahindra, what we have done is we are working on creating a platform rather than going for a narrow AI use cases. We are working in all the sectors right now. Uh, well, with artificial general intelligence, there's general purpose transformers, LLMs. Most of the use cases which we have started, first of all, like rightly said, democratizing the AI and creating a platform. So there are many ideas which are coming. So LLMs are very good in customer care. So we are used for customer care. And some of the use cases I'll say that which are not possible. Like for example, the video analytics or audio analytics for call centers. There are every day there are so many calls at call center for the complaints from customers about vehicles. Now the earlier way was sampling the audio calls and somebody used to listen it, and you can only have a sampling of them. But with AI and with the infrastructure where transcription can happen and multimodal LLMs are there, you can find out and you can then make a analytics out of it that where my dealers, which uh, state dealer or which product or which service sector. So those kind of things which are coming. Then I think the other thing which I think I will like to share is we are now very soon launching the voice AI, the customer call center aspect where the customer will talk. And in our car also we are now introducing in connected car where you can uh, uh, record your all of your complaints, and when you go to the next service, everything will be documented by AI for
Interesting.
your voice of customer, I'll say, and the complaints in your repair order.
Right.
Automatically it will come. So AI, we are cutting across all of them from manufacturing, if the machines, or to customers, to suppliers, to employee experience, everywhere. So now we are building the platform
Yeah.
so that we can use across the all sectors.
Wonderful, wonderful to hear all of those use cases. Neil, coming to you now, if infrastructure is really the foundation, then perhaps connectivity is the lifeline. And India's AI growth relies very heavily on data mobility. Give us a sense of how Tata Communications is really enabling enterprises to overcome some of the common challenges like data latency, compliance challenges. And if you want to add a few more there, please go ahead.
Sure. So as a service provider, what we have done is work very closely with Dell to put I think, a scale-out infrastructure and platform to help our customers build these use cases, which we heard earlier from Deloitte and what M&M is doing. So with multiple enterprises across domains, so what we have done is built a world-class GPU infrastructure, which we offer as a service to our customers, both as bare metal and in a virtualized environment. We're now getting into a tokenized infrastructure, offering it as a tokenized infrastructure for our enterprises. And then on top, we have built a platform which helps, we call it our Vayu AI Studio, to help our customers build these use cases right from experimentation, the ability to work on an integrated development environment, productionize it, use whether open source models or bring your own data and and refine those models, fine-tune those models and create your own privately tenanted model, and then deploy it and run AI and LLM ops on top of it. But what is very, very important is what you asked about how does one get the data in place and how does one get the right security around both the data and the models, right? So from that point of view, we have ensured that it's completely sovereign. We have deployed this entire GPU infrastructure and the platform within the country. And when we help our customers protect it very well with all the right security infrastructure in place, we don't let even one single bit of metadata move out of the country. So our customers can be rest assured on whatever data they are using to either create the rack pipelines or if vectorizing and creating the rack pipelines, or whether you're using the data to fine-tune the models or do continued pre-training of open source models, they can be rest assured that this is going to be well contained within the country and will be privately tenanted for them. So we're very closely working with both NVIDIA and Dell towards building this, what I call as a sovereign infrastructure.
Yes.
And last but not the least, as part of AI Studio, we have a very strong data governance and AI governance module, which helps them control the data from a lineage to provenance, and make sure that you're able to govern the use cases and explain the use cases at scale to either the regulators or within your own, if you have a AI governance body within the company, then you're able to do that. So I think that's where we believe it's very, very important for enterprises to consider how they're going to be using AI at scale, because that's one of the biggest challenges of moving from a pilot to production, because you want to be able to trust
and compliance and governance
and
are
comply
always
with the regulation, and we don't know what's going to hit you tomorrow. So we want to be making sure that all this is available to our customers.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. And Shankar, I want you to add to that. Dell has been talking about its AI factory model. We've heard some of the insights this morning as well. You're enabling enterprises to really scale beyond pilots. Now, give us some stories, some examples of how you've helped Indian enterprises move from experimentation to full-scale AI production, and perhaps, some of the principles that can be picked up from these success stories and implemented by other organizations as well, irrespective of sector.
Namaste, Mumbai. Hope everyone is fine. So it's a big topic, right? Making a progress from proof of concept to production. And what we see as a critical success factor is 5 areas. Your data quality is probably the most important one to start with. And of course, skills are very important, your AI ML skills. And we talked about security a few times. Security and data privacy is another very important area to address. And then, of course, the capabilities of the partners you're dealing with, the services partner, is another important area. Last but not least is having a robust infrastructure which is really tailored to run AI use cases, right? And this is where the Dell AI Factory comes into play. That is designed to address these 5 key areas. And Peter kind of talked about it. Dell AI Factory is the production-ready blueprint. And Dell engineers have spent more than 5 lakh hours testing and validating different designs and resulting in 200 plus reference architecture, which we are making it available in India, right? So the whole goal is to ease deployment, start small and scale the number of use cases, and of course, very importantly, help you build a sustainable and a profitable AI platform, right? So to the point what Venkat was talking about, today we have over 100 plus customers in India, so we are seeing a widespread adoption of AI use cases within India across private sector and public sector. When I talk about private sector, it is the BFSI, the manufacturing, healthcare, as well as the higher educations like the IITs and the startup companies. Public sector, of course, includes defense, different ministries, as well as very advanced research agency, etc. And the number keeps growing.
Right. And you spoke about a bunch of sectors there. Tell us how you AI? What are you doing with it? How big of an opportunity is there in India for transforming legal services using AI?
I mean, lawyers are the most old-fashioned when it comes to technology. We have to be dragged and pulled from one phase to another phase. So that's a general trend for most of my colleagues. But we feel that I personally feel in LKS we feel that AI is going to transform the legal field. It's going to be as transformative as say how computers and search engines were for us back in the early 2000s. And I think fundamentally, the way legal services are going to be provided by law firms and lawyers is going to change in India and outside India because Gen AI is so powerful that a lot of the work simple work which is being done today can be done by Gen AI. So we wanted to build something bespoke. We wanted to harness, we have 40 years of data lying in our storage. So we wanted to harness our own data, and we wanted to build something specialized which can be better than anything available as a generic AI model in the market, and transform the way we in the future give legal services to our clients and to all our customers. So that's been the goal, and that's where we're working towards currently.
Wonderful. Wonderful to hear that, and more power to you. And we are going to hear more about exactly what's happening within your company. But moving on, let's talk about some of the practical challenges. Let's talk about unlocking scale. And Abhishek, coming to you now, legacy systems can be a huge barrier when it comes to embracing new technologies, especially in a diversified large conglomerate like Mahindra. Data is often in silos. What strategies have worked best at the Mahindra Group for integrating AI into traditional operations at scale? And what's the biggest challenge that you've faced?
Very good question. And I think before that, I will answer one question which is there for AI, because AI is now transforming everything actually, right? So people ask like, what will happen to the future of employment and something, which I say that whatever is data which can be stored can be transformed into AI. The people who have muscle memory, means the skills in their hands, is still a decade away. Whatever can be stored, which is available, so data becomes a fuel for AI. Now, the challenge with anybody, the companies like us into business from last 50 years, a lot of legacy applications, then very specific applications also like SCADA, machine engineering systems, and those where the datas are there in their proprietary databases. So how do we bring? So what we started was, first of all, we created a central planning of the data. How do we bring the data into a particular data lake or a data warehouse, a central system where we can bring the data, and then the governance part of it, how it will be. The applications where it was difficult to bring the data, then we had an API mechanism in between, like I will say, adapter in between, which can take out the data and do the ETL or ELT, and then push the data there. And we are also coming up with first project which we have started is in the automotive sector, which is a very big sector where we have supply chain, we have machine drawing designs, demand, ERP, then machine engineering system. So there, the project name is Vihan, where we are making a central database, master database, and we are bringing a data mesh kind of governance framework where every individual will have its own data as a product API will be available. Because it is very difficult, and I feel sometimes that most of the companies start with a data department in the company, and then the chief data officer comes in and pull all the data in the data lake. It becomes petabytes of data, use only 10%.
Right.
So the people are moving from that central data warehouse to a data mesh kind of, that everywhere we can align the governance and central things, and then every branch or every data owner can be used as a data as a product.
Very
so
good.
we are moving into that architecture.
Right. All right. And Neil, another challenge that enterprises really face is balancing innovation with trust and transparency as far as AI is concerned. Any particular do's and don'ts that you want to suggest to organizations?
So once again, maybe this time I'll take some use case examples or customer examples because otherwise it'll become very theoretical. But to just lay the foundation for that, I think innovation cannot come at the cost of trust, because once trust is broken, then it's a big mountain to climb, right? So especially, Mumbai being the BFSI hub, so that's one challenge which we are seeing where it's taking a lot of time to get past the trust and security gate. And while there are a lot of innovative use cases, so for example, in the voice itself, I think you talked about voice and BFSI, a lot of customer experience use case where we're working with our customers to help them create voice agents as part of their call centers, whether it's in recovery agents in the case of NBFCs, or pushing new upsell and cross-sell for banks with AI agents. One of the challenges which we face is what is the tone and tenor. So we are working with our customers to create voice agents which are trained. In the first call, when the recovery agent calls, it will be very soft tone, reminding them of the deadline which is coming, right? Or just a simple reminder. As they get closer, the voice gets harsher and harsher. But also, if you see, RBI mandates that if the customer says, and these are all AI bots, AI voice agents, right? If the RBI says, if the customer says in a conversation that they're having a health challenge or they've lost their job, then you can't once again impose collection, right? So, and then you have to record these and then also make sure that they are auditable. If in case it gets into an adverse situation, God forbid that person commits suicide because you're very harsh on. So all this, we are now, the voice agents are trained to do this. So now trust, it takes time. So it's not overnight. It takes time to train the voice agents. It takes time to go through this process of embedding all this. And so it is not going to be overnight, just release it out in the wild and then create a problem for you. So once again, coming back through this example, what I'm saying is, while it is very, very important to innovate fast, but it is also important to balance it out with trust and compliance, specifically in industries which are regulated like the BFSI. And we have put together all the tools and frameworks, as I mentioned earlier in my opening remarks, saying that we put the tools and frameworks to help you not only govern this data. We are creating regulatory sandboxes where you can, once you create this use case, you can give this regulatory sandbox to a SEBI or an RBI for them to test out, saying that, okay, this use case which is going to be put in production, can I really put it in production? Will my regulator be okay with it? We're also creating explainability APIs, which is first in the industry, where these APIs are exposed to these regulatory agencies and they can check and audit what has happened. And every process right now, because of agentic, you are touching into multiple models and multiple federated, vector databases or repositories of data. And you need to be able to explain how each and every construct of an output was put together through these workflows, and these should be explainable. So we're putting all that together. So innovation cannot be at the cost of trust and compliance, but at the same time, innovation cannot be stalled because you're not able to create a use case with enough trust and compliance. So we are getting the right balance there.
That is well said, Neil. You brought up some very important points. I'm going to stay with trust and compliance for just a bit and then switch to agentic. But Sriram, coming to you. Now, your firm closely tracks India's evolving regulatory framework, technology law. What are some of the biggest challenges that you are seeing organizations face while scaling AI as far as compliance and regulations are concerned?
Well, I think specifically in the context of AI, the law is a very nascent stage. We have the new DPDP Act, not yet in force, but going to come into force in the next year. It's not per se designed and tailor-made for AI. But there will be some complications and issues regarding data retention, how to store other people's data and use it for data training. I think these are some issues we may see when it comes to training of our AI models for use cases relating to other people's data. And there is a lot of talk now, I think the new Digital India Act, which is coming maybe next year to replace the old IT Act. There might be a new special framework dealing specifically with AI and the implications and how to implement them for large corporates. So I think this is a time for us to keep our eyes open and ears open and see what the government comes up in the near future regarding the legal regulations for AI and other data protection requirements.
Right, absolutely. Exciting times ahead. And, one of the, of course, most emerging trends of 2025 has been agentic AI. Shankar, coming to you with that. Now, agentic AI is really the next frontier that we are looking at. AI is no longer just assisting us. It is actually deciding for us, executing tasks for us. At Dell, how are you, assimilating this entire shift into your infrastructure roadmap? And how are you ensuring that your customers and enterprises around the world are ready for this kind of a future?
Yeah, so we are super excited about agentic, of course, and the future of work is going to be defined by the relationship between machines and humans, right? Of course, Dell has taken a very proactive approach in integrating agentic into our product roadmap. It's a two-pronged strategy. One, of course, product development, and we'll continue to have agentic capabilities in the technology we bring to the market. And the second strategy is partnership. And partnerships are very important, how we go to market. And to give an example, the joint engineering efforts, what we are putting with NVIDIA, for example, is to optimize the accelerators and fine-tune the compute platform so that we can start onboarding agentic AI use cases and start scaling them. And of course, it doesn't stop with the hardware layer. It also extended to the software in terms of joint engineering efforts, giving an example of Nematron, which is the reasoning and agentic microservices, right? And going beyond NVIDIA, of course, we have extended our partnership to global leaders in AI and agentic AI specifically. These are the ISVs. And as the technology evolves, we will continue to expand our ecosystem.
Right. You spoke about partnerships and collaboration, and Neil, coming to you with that. Now, of course, partnerships, collaboration, absolutely critical to any kind of success in this day and age that we are in. So tell us then, how are you enabling some of these partnerships? What can enterprises, both MSMEs as well as large enterprises, do in terms of collaboration and partnerships as they are adopting AI at scale?
I think this is the first time, where you can't innovate without partnerships. I don't think any enterprise or any service provider or even a technology provider can, I think I'm referring to this Gen AI world, because innovation is flying fast and thick out of corners of the technology landscape, which you can't imagine. So let me put it both ways. For example, we are partnering with Dell and NVIDIA, and it's very, very important for us to stay ahead. And all what I talked about from an AI studio is in partnership with open source communities, with providers like NVIDIA. He talked about the NIMS framework from NVIDIA. We're working with them, contributing on the Omniverse framework as a digital twin for manufacturing. So partnerships are very important. Specifically from an enterprise point of view, I think it's all about, when we talk about agentic frameworks, it's all about the use cases and the outcomes. While I have a thing about not measuring ROI, but because we are an enterprise, it's typically run on outcomes and ROI framework, so we'll have to justify it. So we will have to go through it. So in that sense, we have to have the use case partners who bring it, whether it's the large system integrators, whether it's the smaller use case providers. We'll have to work very closely with them to onboard them on top of our AI studio, make it part of our marketplace and offer it. Especially from an MSME point of view, an M&M does have the deep pockets to invest and develop their own use cases, but MSMEs ideally would not have either the technical depth nor the deep pockets to fund building of use cases. So we will have to work with them very closely to make sure that we can bring in innovation at speed through these partnerships with use case companies.
Right, and I want Sriram to add to that as well. You have a very robust partnership with Dell on the technology enablement side. Give us a sense of, how that has benefited the business and what sort of metrics have really improved since this partnership.
I mean, the metrics are yet to come in, but we are very positive about what's going to happen. So when we realized we wanted to build a bespoke solution, and at that time we didn't have much of an idea what them, because we are lawyers, we're in the legal sector, not a tech company at all. So Dell's been our hardware provider for more than 15, 20 years now. So we reached out to them and we said, this is what we want to do. How can you help us out? And Dell has been instrumental in setting us up with the right infrastructure, the architecture, deploying it, setting up the software on it, and helping us find good partners to build and develop our own AI solution. So it's been a good experience till now. And I mean, we go live very soon. So maybe in the next session, I can get back to you on the ROI. But
Absolutely.
as of now, fingers crossed, and it looks very positive and very powerful.
Good to know that. And, Shankar, India is such a diverse mix when it comes to enterprises. We have the MSMEs that we were talking about. We have, of course, large-scale enterprises, diversified conglomerates. Now, at Dell, when you look at the AI landscape for all of these diverse enterprises, how do you really tailor needs to local requirements while, of course, being a very globally competitive company?
We love diversity, by the way. Yeah. So we understand that one size doesn't fit all. And if you look at the Dell AI Factory, the design principle is based on flexibility and affordable infrastructure, right? And with that said, the whole architecture is built on open and standard base. It's very modular. So we need to provide choice to our customer across all the layers. Just to quote one is on the accelerator, that's your GPU. We partner with NVIDIA, AMD, Intel as options for our customers. And then the AI ML software stack, which is very, really important. And that's where we have a broadest and brightest ecosystem to work with, so customers can choose the brand they trust to build their AI infrastructure, right? With that said, when you have too much choice, you might be confused. You need some guidance there. This is where the Team India has become, very innovative in creating certain bundles or solution bundles to get you started. A good example of that, there is a training pod bundle available, or a starter kit available, or a base kit available for you to really get started, right? So talk to the Dell representative. Happy to, spend more time to explain to you, what is in the bundle and how we can, get you started with your AI journey.
Right. All right. In this final round of questions now, I want us to be looking into the future. And quick thoughts on, how AI is going to be reshaping your respective industries. Abhishek, how do you see AI really transforming manufacturing and supply chain management in India?
AI is transforming everything, I'll say. In the manufacturing, if we talk about from the machine maintenance, from IoT sensor data, and the productivity, and even the workmen, for example, the drawings and other things, the LLMs are helping them to troubleshoot the machine. It guides them. The SOPs are guiding them. How do you maintain the machines, and how if there is some trouble. And the wonderful thing comes is it is centralized also. So for example, my Haridwar plant has some issues, and there is a common database from where the Igatpuri plant person is also getting help from the Haridwar. So that kind of collaboration is also coming from the AI point of view.
Right.
And in supply chain, of course, the game is today is the efficiency, just in time production and demand, and how you forecast your demand, how you make your supplies, how in the transportation algorithms also, it helps from which vendor, from which plant, because you have our outsourced, our partners, for example, vendors who supplies, they also have multiple plants. So from where transportation will be economic, faster. So all these things, AI is making it more efficient, and that's what the business requires.
A lot more collaboration and a lot more efficiency. Well, Neil, for enterprises that really want to stay ahead of the tech curve without over-investing very quickly, because technology is going to be changing very, very quickly as well, what's the smartest way to build or buy AI infrastructure and remain future ready?
I would say consume it from our cloud, get on with it. POCs, you can create your integrated development environments. Developer sandboxes are available. Start experimenting with multiple models. We have Hugging Face integration. Get the model on. Get your data. We support federated. You don't have to move your data from your multi-cloud environment. We have what we call as a multi-cloud connect platforms and networking technologies to bring the data in a federated fashion. So you can get on with it quickly to experiment. Of course, from a scaling point of view, it is completely a different ball game altogether. As I said, you need to think about many other issues around trust, governance, compliance, security, etc. But I think that's the easiest way to get on, and we'll continue to expand our footprint. We'll continue to expand the availability of the latest and the greatest GPUs. And this is something which I think we all need to keep in mind, that unlike the earlier era, in the GPU era, we're seeing the rate of the new GPUs coming in, the accelerated compute coming in, the architectures. Not only the family of GPUs are changing, but the underlying architecture is changing. The power density is changing, rack density is changing. We moved from 9 to 35 to 75, 80 to now 200 kVA per rack. So I think the pace is so high. For an enterprise, I think it's very good to work with a cloud provider. You can get the GPUs on tap. You can take the latest ones to train, continue to fine-tune your models with your own weights or with open weights. You can then use the earlier generation of GPUs for inferencing at scale through a tokenized infrastructure. So I believe that's the best way to work, and we'll continue to work with providers such as Dell and NVIDIA to completely make sure that we're at the frontier of getting these GPUs, accelerated computers, and the tools and frameworks available to the enterprises.
Right. Well, and we wish you all the very best for that. India wants to be more than just a consumer of AI. We also want to be world-class exporters of AI. So, Shankar, looking ahead, how do you see Dell's ecosystem-first approach really helping India build globally competitive, export-ready AI solutions?
Like Manish mentioned earlier, the opportunities are borderless, right? And if you look at Dell India's go-to-market strategy, it's not only helping you to consume technology, but also make you a significant creator and exporter of AI services and solution to compete in the global markets. And we do that by partnership and making greatest technology available and continuing to innovate there. And a good examples is the CSP, where we are creating partnership locally here, as well as partnership with Indian ISVs. Just to quote few examples, we talked about Sarvam.ai or Gyani.ai is another good example, or CodeMate, which is a software development toolkit which is available to improve productivity of software engineers. And also, services partners are very critical. So, quote an example, we have a partner called C-Cube who's specializing on AI use cases, helping our customers to get on with their AI journey, right? So it's just a beginning, and we will keep adding more partners to build the ecosystem locally. And just to summarize, partnership and collaboration is going to be super critical.
Absolutely, absolutely. Finally, coming to you, Sriram, what's one lesson that you'd like to leave everybody with when it comes to moving from pilots to actually mainstreaming AI within the organization?
Well, from my perspective, from my experience, I would say that, I think AI is very powerful. I think we all know that, and especially Gen AI. And I think my experience would be Gen AI coupled and built upon your own existing data sets. That is truly powerful. And that is something which can give very high productivity, very high efficiency, very good results, which I think something we should all try and go towards and implement and execute.
All right, on a very light note, 30 seconds each, we are in the year of agentic AI. What's one task you wish as a C-suite leader that agentic AI would take away from you immediately? Abhishek?
I think the call center and wherever the interaction of sales and where the communication is required, even in the case of the mails which are coming and the auto replying for the mails and a lot of customers.
As a C-suite leader, your
Yeah.
particular task that you wish agentic AI just did for you on a daily basis and you didn't have to go through it.
So I think customer call center where we are working right now is something where agentic AI is playing, and in fact, the human is also sometimes can be out of loop in that scenario.
Okay. All right, Neil?
If I wish, I can get my business pipeline on tap by just talking to an agent.
Don't we all?
I don't have to talk to 10 ops people to find out what's happening in the business.
Yes. Shankar, what about you?
Well, agents to do the dirty job which humans don't want to do, right?
I would say, I don't know, buy all the groceries for me every day and remove all those kind of simple tasks from my life.
Okay, anything mundane, if agents could just take it over, that would help, right? Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much for sharing your incredible insights with us. What stands out in this conversation is that AI in India is no longer about if we can harness it. It's about how fast, how responsibly can we harness it to its full potential. Infrastructure, trust, compliance, collaboration, all of these will define how India not only scales AI, but also leads it globally. Thank you very much. Huge round of applause for our panelists, please. Hope you enjoyed the session.
Dell Technologies Forum.